everybody, Scott Fischer with Options for Senior Living. Welcome back to the show. You might be thinking to yourself, what is Haboob? What is he talking about? Don't let Haboob hit you in the face. That's the name of the show. You guys, for 25 years, I've been working with families who are navigating the challenges of the aging journey, and typically with a loved one. It's the adult kids working with their parents, it's spouses trying to help each other. There's a season of life that the Haboob is a metaphor. If you look over my shoulder here, that is a picture of Tempe, Arizona. Arizona State University is inside that dust cloud, being swallowed up by a dust cloud. Last summer, it was 65 miles wide. It's a mile high. And when we all went to work last year on that day, we had no idea that was coming. It was the season for the summer storms that we often experience around here, but we weren't paying attention that we were going to get that. Behind that dust cloud was 100-mile-an-hour winds in some parts of the city. Trees came down, roofs got ripped off, big rain, flash floods. We live in a valley, so everything the water just runs wild. And all of a sudden, we are in it. And these families, y'all, that I have worked with all these years often feel wiped out, sideswiped, bashed by the storms of life because they have been in the season. It might be the season and they just missed the signs. They didn't pay attention. There's been pushback or maybe some defiance or denial going on. That's all part of the picture here. And so my mission, my hope is that we talk about these things with the professionals who often accompany families through these processes, that have done it, they've seen it, and they've got wisdom to share. And often I talk to guests in the greater Phoenix area because that's where I'm at. But today I've got a national guest and a dear friend. Valerie Van De Zilver is here. Hey, Valerie. How you
Hi,
doing?
Scott. Thank you for having me on your show. I just learned what a haboob is.
Haboob.
Haboob.
Listen, everybody, listen. Valerie is the founder and the host of a radio program over in Orange County, California, the Always Ageless radio show. I've been a guest on her show. She has a massive reach with that. She is a senior home coach. She's also the chair of the Orange County National Aging in Place Council. She is a realtor. She's a broker. What don't you do or put yourself in the middle of? And you're an adult child navigating these very spaces with people. So we're going to talk some personal stuff too. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. How does it feel to hear all
Well,
that stuff?
I'm not a basketball player. I'm not a basketball player here in March Magic, so I don't fit in that.
The tournament started today.
Yes.
For those
I
people
know.
that pay attention to that stuff. You guys, it's really an honor to talk to you, Valerie. I guess maybe start by telling us about how your work from real estate maybe migrated into these spaces and the perspective you have on the issues that I just kind of outlined for everybody.
God, I've had my real estate license since I was 21, so it was just a couple years ago. As I got a little older, my parents have great genes. Everyone tells me my dad was 98 or so, almost 99. And he had surgery. And then from that, they put him in they called us one day and said, you get the call, that says, this is a hospital. We're releasing him, discharging him. I said, well, what are we going to do with him? My mom can't take care of him. Well, that's too bad. So what am I supposed to do? Well, we're discharging him. Better come get him. So I said, well, that doesn't help. What do I do? So he said, well, you need like a care community, called facilities. So there was one close to where mom and dad lived. They had a mobile home in Huntington Beach. And I called them and said, I was referred to you by Hoag Hospital. What do I do? And they said, well, just come on over. So we took dad over there and he needed some care, not really so much rehab as he did need some additional care. So they took him and we went to see him every day. And pretty soon we got a call from them. And they said, we're discharging your dad. And I said, oh, no, not again. So now what am I supposed to do? They said, why do you have to discharge him? Well, he's had enough Medicare. We don't have any more money. I said, well, okay, well, we'll just pay you privately. Oh, no, that's not how it works. You can't pay us privately. Well, why can't I pay you? But that's not how it works. I didn't know at the time. So I called a friend of mine, a real estate agent who I had happened to manage her home. We'd been friends for years, and she now happens to live in your neighborhoods. I called her and said, Tammy, what did you do with your dad? She said, oh, we called this lady, and she helped us find a home for my dad to go to. So I called the lady and she said, well, I'm on maternity leave, but here's this guy named Dave owns 5 houses. Call Dave and go visit Dave's houses. So I went to visit Dave's houses and this house is too far from my mom's house. She'll never be able to come and see him. And this just, I can't do this to my dad. So we finally found a home that would work that had a private room just inside the front door. So we put him there. I called all my siblings and I said, okay, you guys, this is what it costs. What are we going to do? He said, well, how long do you think he'll live? I said, I don't know. As it turned out, he only lived about 6 weeks. So I saw the person came from physical therapy, whatever she came, and I said, now I don't want anybody to treat him like he's old. Well, he was days from his 99th birthday. I said, I don't want to come here and see you just putting him in a rocking chair with a bib on and just letting him sit there all day. This is my dad, and he's perfectly fine, just a little old. Okay, all right, we got it. And then one day the physical therapist called me and said, I can't do this anymore. And I said, well, why not? What's wrong with you? And she said, because he's not going to live very long. How long is he going to live? And she said, probably till Friday. This was on a Monday. So he died on Thursday. And it occurred to me then, Scott, that I can't be the only person my age who was going through that. There must be other kids who are my age that were going through this same journey with their parents. And as it turned out, my mom and dad had a really close friend. They were kind of the threesome, a man named Lynn. And shortly after dad died, Lynn's daughter called me. I said, what did you do with your dad? We put him here and then we put him there. So we called Dave again and put him in one of Dave's homes. And other things happened that I connected with other people who were going through the same journey. And I realized that none of us had any answers. So I took it on as my journey, my mission, so to speak, to step in and be the voice for those of us and help people my age, which isn't young, my age, figure out what to do. We didn't know what to do. So I knew I couldn't be the only one, right? I couldn't be the only one going through this. So that's what happened. That's how I got started working more with seniors. And I'd always wanted to. I wanted to be a missionary nurse in Africa. I was in the Candy Striper program at our local hospital. And so I always had a heart for taking care of other people. And this was just an extension of that.
You told me about that when the first time or second time we met. We met a couple of years ago. You guys, Valerie's a part of a group, and I mentioned earlier, called the Senior Home Coach. To everybody what you guys are all about. That's an awesome group of people and professionals that stretches across the country. And I've had the privilege to go in and share at their conferences. They've had 3 different gatherings around the country that I've been able to be a part of. But tell everybody about the Senior Home Coach and how that's helped you in your development of your mission.
The Senior Home Coach program is a mastermind, really. It's a group of people who are involved in various areas of senior care. We meet every morning at the same 5 mornings a week. For me, it's 6 o'clock in the morning because I'm in California. For other people, they're up and they've already started their working day. And we talk about issues that have to do with care, whether it's move management or whether it's home health services or whether it's home care, whether it's helping people decide whether they should move, downsize, declutter. And for some of us, then I ended up just being inspired by our mastermind, our coach there, Catherine Ambrose, and to start my own radio show and to be brilliant broadcaster. So we all just get ideas from each other, share ideas. We've all grown together. So many people have started amazing things. And then we were introduced to Scott. So Scott, through that group, we met you. And Scott's been gracious enough to share his knowledge with his Options University. So many of us have been able to learn more about placement. And I might just say, not just about how to help families find the right assisted living community, but Scott taught us the ethics and how to be sure that we're doing things the right way, because things that unless you're doing it every day, I would have never known.
Well,
so you've been really great in helping us.
Thank you. Too many of the industries that are in these spaces, Valerie, are unregulated and largely unlicensed. As a realtor and real estate broker, you've got a license for all of that. Hey, today you can be a senior living navigator, senior placement specialist, and yesterday you were driving a truck and nobody would know the difference. And I've been on a mission for more than 15 years to bring professionalism, ethics, best practices to this industry. Starting here in Phoenix and then doing some stuff with folks around the country. I got to meet a lot of the professionals in San Diego and Orange County when we were launching and moving some of that national work into those chapters. And there's a vibrant chapter in San Diego and a vibrant chapter in Orange County. I'm really proud of those leaders that have kept that mission alive and well to raise the bar and educate the community, because nobody would know otherwise. There's so many blind spots with the ethics issues, and so many people, Valerie, see the transaction of moving a senior into a care facility, but they wouldn't look at that person, their client, as you were looking at it for your dad. They don't. They just want the deal done and make the buck. And I really emphasize, and I try to speak to that this is somebody's family. We're interested in good outcomes. I laugh, but because there's so much transactional nonsense that can go on. So it's been a joy to get to know so many of you, watch you guys all now show up in bigger ways, right? Running these chapters and getting your show off the ground.
Yeah, there's 50 of us on this call every morning, or close to 50 every morning, which is pretty amazing. We consistently every morning, Monday through Friday, we're on this call sharing with each other. But we bring ideas to each other and knowledge, and it's a great group. It's not often you find people who really openly share with each other. They'll go and they'll listen, but I'm not going to share because they might steal my idea.
Isn't it great to be in a space where you can create and mastermind together? And I would say this, Catherine, I met Catherine many years ago. She is a force of nature, right? And she is. And she has a thing, and she's on her way to doing it. But what you guys built within this group is also lifted and propelled her. And now, may I say, Catherine's host of a nationally syndicated show. It's on 5 days a week. It's on in the Valley here. It's called Aging Untold, and she's on with 3 other professionals. And it's kind of like all these special stories, and they're kind of like The View for all things aging. It's a phenomenal show. And
what a great group of women. You have Sam Craddock and you have Catherine. If you had Sam and Catherine alone, it would still be a great show. But then they have 2 other ladies who joined them, and just amazing. Yeah, it's like The View, but no politics.
With no politics. Yeah, they're just 4 women just crushing it and talking about all things aging. And so that's a great resource for people. And Aging Untold, if you're in the Phoenix market, it's on every day at 3 o'clock. Set your DVR. It's on Channel 5 at our local CBS affiliates. I have it DVR'd every day. All right. So you're out there making a difference. You're out there doing all this rattling and bringing awareness to what you do, right?
Yes.
Talk about how it affects you personally. Your dad's passed. It started there. Now, a number of years later, you're still living it.
I am. My mom and dad have been married 78 years. It's a really long time. 78 years. And when dad died, we said, well, that's it. Mom might live a week, but people who've been married that long, they just don't survive without each other. Well, I think there were times in their life when mom looked forward to this moment, but whatever. So we said, okay, we'll go to mom's and check on her tonight. And the next night, we'll go to mom's and check on her tonight. Well, we'll go to mom's. Well, so we kept going to mom's. And mom, 8.5 years later, is still alive. So when mom had her 100th birthday, I said, okay, this is it for mom. She won't live any longer. So we'll have a really big birthday party. We said to mom, tell us, mom, what did you not get in a birthday party when you were a little girl that you would like to have? What colors did you not get? You wanted a pink cake, whatever. She said, I never had a birthday party. So you never had a birthday party, mom. She was one of 16 children. She was the middle child. So she wasn't the oldest. She wasn't the youngest. By her 100th birthday, she was the only child left. She's still not only the only child left, she's the only spouse left. None of the other kids, their spouses are still alive. She is the only survivor.
Oh my gosh.
So we thought, okay, so what we had flowers, huge flowers, like a wedding. We had printed invitations. We had cake tasting. We did the whole thing. We invited relatives, which were cousins, my cousins, because all the other siblings are gone. For my cousins, my mom is their connection to their own parents. Some of them call my mom their grandma. So we had this huge, wonderful party. And we thought, okay, this is it, right? Because why wait till she dies? Let's just have a party now. So we had huge, catered, everything you could possibly want. She had everything she could possibly want. Okay, well, she was 100. So, okay, this is it, right? Why wait till her funeral? Let's just give it to her now. All right, well, today, my mom is 1 month short of 106 and a half. She lived on her own independently. We went to her house. almost every day. After about 6 years, no, after about 4.5 years, we started only going 5 nights a week, and we haven't been on a vacation since dad died. Because what would we do with mom? And I would feel terrible if I wasn't there. So the journey of the hard part, and I know you go through this with your people too, Scott, with the families that you help, is the unknown, and we've talked about this. A baby's born, they're gonna walk, they're gonna do this, they're going to do that, they're gonna be the terrible twos, they're gonna go to preschool, blah, 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 right? But someone turns some age and you have no idea what to expect. You don't know what to expect financially. You don't know if they're going to be well. You don't know if they're going to fall, if they're going to be sick. My mom, nothing is wrong with her. She takes one blood pressure medicine a day and she has a little trouble walking. She has one knee that could be replaced. She wants it replaced. And her doctor says, Alice, you're not going under the knife. So forget it. You're too old.
This is all very real for us too. I mean, I'm tearing up as you're talking because that also triggers stuff in us and our family. Valerie, you and I talked, oh golly, as you were looking at senior living for her, and you were just so distressed about the whole thing and how mom saw it. How's her reaction been about moving? It's been hard, right?
So we started having a caregiver come in, or more of a companion. She really didn't need much, but we thought somebody should be there to watch out. But the problem is, if somebody goes 3 mornings a week for 3 hours a day, what do you do the rest of the days, right? What do? You bring somebody in and you don't trust them. I don't know if they're stealing from my mom at night or whatever. So we had somebody 3 days a week, 3 mornings a week, but she never liked anybody. They didn't cook the right kind of food she wanted, or she thought that she would send them to the store. And how did she know if they were really bringing her money back? And, maybe, and they would say things like, oh, if your daughter doesn't want that, let me know. So for her, that was like, oh, I want that. So we had a really hard time. She couldn't find a caregiver she liked. And one day she had a caregiver she liked for a while. And this young lady was studying to be a nurse and finally got a job as a nurse, which is great for her. So I got a call that she was going to be a nurse, got her first job. And I went over to mom's and I said, she's not coming back, mom. We need to find a new caregiver. And for some reason, Scott, I went through my mom's kitchen cabinets, and she was living in an apartment in a 55 plus community. For some reason, I went into her kitchen cabinets and I thought, oh my gosh, I pulled pans out that she cooked breakfast in. And not only had she tried to wash them and they just didn't come clean, they had never been touched. She fried eggs and put them back in the cabinet. And I just, it just was bringing tears to my eyes. And I called my husband. I said, I can't do this. Right, this is it. We've got to get a new caregiver. She doesn't like anybody we pick. We have to get a new caregiver. She's not able to take care of herself. It was amazing, Scott. There weren't bugs all over the house. It was amazing. So I said, it's just time. So I told her it was time to go someplace else, and she just doesn't think she's old enough for that. So we found a lovely community close to us, and love to talk about some of the things that children should look for when they're picking an assisted living community, because they are not all alike at all.
Right.
There's a lot of things that we should be looking at that we don't know. Some of it we don't want to hear.
It's a boxed in place to be as an adult kid. And I want to zero in on that, and I'll certainly share because you've said, or something you said earlier was that you're going into the unknown phase. Her health is fine. Like, how long is it going to be that she's just going to keep chugging along? Who knows? She doesn't want to be there, but there is absolutely no way that she can come live with you guys, and you're already not vacationing, and you and Peter are not getting the time away, and your world is all mom all the time, and we have these conflicting emotions going on inside of us, and if we don't say it and give the truth. Like, there were days that my mom was more trouble than I wanted, and I would be like, when is this going to be over? I didn't want my mom dead, but I also said, it's dominating my marriage. It's dominating my day. It's dominating my life. And I love my mother, but I didn't sign up to be her parent and her caregiver for the rest of her, very hard.
So when my friends talk about their moms, and I'll say, oh, how old is your mom or your dad? We shouldn't just pick on moms here. How old is your parent? Oh, they're 84. 84? Heck, that's nothing, right? My mom's 106. 84 is nothing. That's 22 years younger than my mom.
Calvin Coolidge was the president, or Herbert Hoover, somebody like that was president. Or
I know. And,
high
and
school when
that's what
FDR
I
was the
say, I've
president.
talked to you and we've talked about this. So how do you know? How do you know? And when someone isn't sick, how do I know what is going to happen to her? What should I expect? And I don't know, Scott, if I would be as gracious going through this challenge or this journey if it was my husband's mom as he is.
As
He
he
went
is.
through this with his parents separately. His mom passed away first, but they were in Holland. We weren't there all the time. And now I certainly know what his sisters went through and the challenges that they had, which I could not have possibly appreciated until I've gone through it myself. But it's so hard for the families because we don't know what to expect. And when you put, I mean, I hate to use the word when you put them in, when you help them choose an assisted living community, there's so many different factors. You think they're all kind of the same. And you say, okay, well, everybody's nice there. Well, sure, they're nice there. It's like saying real estate agents are all nice. Well, sure, you can't be a nasty real estate agent and get any business. You have to be a nice if you work in an assisted living community. But what are
Mm,
all the things I should have looked for?
yeah.
I didn't know, for example, the levels of care.
What's another nugget you've learned in this?
Another nugget is some communities have, most of them have like a snack bar that's
Mhm.
open during the day. And
Yeah.
one of the communities I visited even shows on the daily menu that in the morning at the snack bar, we have brownies. In the afternoon, we have banana pie, right? So where mom is, they say, oh, there's the bistro. You can have anything you want.
Having a good advisor or a guide, we help families with all this stuff. It is a lot. If you have a loved one in memory care, many times the kitchen from the main part of the building will provide the meal and then they will, in the hot cart, bring it to the unit.
So I would just say, Scott, that people, it's just like in real estate, an attorney, anytime
Mm.
you always say, who represents you matters. And in this, by golly, who
Yeah.
represents you matters. You need
Yeah.
a Scott Fischer who cares from an ethical standpoint, not somebody that's just in it for who's going to give me the most money.
As there's nothing that our association can do to regulate what people request or require for compensation. Senior living incentivize us. They pay us a referral fee for moving people in. It's pretty standard in our market. I don't hear 200% and stuff like that around here. Doesn't mean it doesn't happen, but um, it is required in Arizona now. We do have one law on disclosure. We got our law passed in 2018. I think it's the first in the nation. I'm pretty sure it was, where we went before the state legislature, and I testified in front of the Senate Healthcare Committee. Freaked me out. I've never been in front of a bunch of legislators before, having to pitch why this was a good plan and work with the senator and blah, blah, blah. And so we do have a requirement. I have to tell families the nature of our compensation, how we get it, the contracted amount, blah, blah, blah. And it has to be disclosed by the senior living facility at the time. If a family were to see a 200% charge, I would guess they would lose their ever loving mind. I've just never heard it. But we often get in 1 month 100% of the first month's rent, and that's pretty typical.
But the commission is the commission. That's okay. People deserve to get paid
Yeah.
for their work. That's not the
Yep.
point.
Yep.
The point is
Yep.
that you don't want someone representing you who is like selling the house. Okay, I'm going to
Yep.
take these people to buy a house because here I'm going to get a 7% commission, and the house
Yep.
over here I'm only going to get a 6% commission. So I don't even show them the 6% commission house, right? That's not what we want.
Right.
You want someone
Right.
who cares about the best place for you, and where how they get paid is irrelevant because if it's the best thing for you, it will pay off in the long run.
We were called in person, fingers wagging at us. We were called body brokers. We were called bounty hunters. There was an article in a couple of the local journals around here about the body brokers because the reality was with agents probably were taking people to the highest bidder, these group homes that would pay them whatever. And families didn't know any different, and there was no education about it. And so I'm so grateful you're bringing it up because this is something that families should be asking about. And if you're working with an agent, certainly discuss with them. California doesn't have that disclosure law.
No.
Your governor chose not to. He vetoed a bill on his desk a couple of years ago, but I think that disclosure was part of it. Some friends of mine were actively involved in trying to get some structure to the California placement world. Let me ask you a question. What makes you happy about caring for folks in this space? Where's your joy in all this?
I happen to just love doing it. I walk through the community where my mom is, and I go up to people and ask them, "How are you? What's your name? How
Mm,
long have you lived here? Where did you come from?" It's certainly from my childhood desire to care for other people, and that's something I just always learned. My mom always took care of other people. When I was little, we had a friend from church, an older lady, very older, and we called her Grandma Van Dusen. My mom went to her house every Saturday afternoon and shampooed her hair and put bluing in her hair. Do you know what bluing is? It
I
makes your hair white. Yeah, it makes your hair white. And so she put bluing in Grandma Van Dusen's hair every week. So I was around it. I was always around it. And I always wanted to take care of other people. And what makes me happy is contributing to, and now feeling like I can keep someone from making mistakes in, or from
Mhm.
making decisions in the care and the journey of their loved one, which maybe is an uninformed decision, or keep
Yeah.
them from making decisions in crisis mode rather than in care mode and in planning
Yeah.
mode. And if I can help someone think about what they want, be a sounding board for them. How did you make that decision, Valerie? Where did you pick them? How did you decide? What should I look for? If I can just help someone do a better job, and when they've made that decision, feel more at peace with themselves.
When you've been in somebody's kitchen or living room and they're super stressed, they're super wound up about what's going on, and they drop their shoulders and they relax in your presence, that's still the best moment for me when they go, I really got somebody here that knows the way, right? That can help them navigate through this. Many times in our work, Valerie, you know this, they might need help with placement, but they're going to need help getting rid of that house. They're going to need a move and a move manager. They're going to need new powers of attorney done. They might need primary care physician because they haven't seen a doctor in 6 years. I mean, when we go into the house, man, sometimes we're bringing a whole football team full of friends in there with us because families have been ignoring, pushing back, denying, I'm fine. And if you pull back the pantry, there's their dirty dishes, so to speak, right? And
Yeah.
that's really what's going on.
And also to help them be at peace with having to part with their possessions. Maybe you don't have to part with all their possessions now. What we did with moms, we said, okay, we're not going to get rid of everything. Certain things are really important to you, so we're going to put those in storage. And we happen to
Yeah.
have a storage unit already. So maybe there's things to do that, but so emotional. And the guilt that the children feel, or the sisters or brothers, the siblings, whatever, the guilt that they feel. And it's so hard. It's so
Yeah.
hard. And to try to find a way to make them feel that everybody's not against them,
Yeah. Yeah.
whether it's
Do you have
selling
brothers
a
and
house,
sisters?
whatever it is. I have
I've never asked you.
2
Do you have
brothers and
brother
1
and sister?
sister.
Are they
Brothers and 1
around?
sister.
Are they around for this
I have
with
a
you and
brother
mom?
who's in Huntsville, Alabama. I have a brother in San Diego, and I have a sister who lives close to my office.
Okay.
But I'm the daughter, I'm the daughter.
Yeah. My brothers and I've told this story, but things have been damaged. When mom died and mom didn't do some planning, mom was super defiant. We had our journey that I've shared, but it's left my brothers and I, yeah, wounded with each other. And I want families to be equipped for these conversations going in. I want to share where I blew it, where I learned, what I've done for professionally for years. All the years I've done this, Valerie, when it's my own family, are you kidding me? It's a whole nother ball game. And this sensitivity I have for these issues is even heightened. And I'm sure it is for you.
Well, and you have the sibling who never came to see the parent, right? Never came. Didn't come for
Right.
years. Never called, never sent a card, and I had a situation with a client that I helped. Mom passed away, and at per the will and the trust and everything, he got the proceeds.
Mhm.
But the brother said, "Oh, no, no, that's not what she meant. I know that she didn't know. She didn't realize that." So then he accused my client of making up the trust and blah blah. And as it turned out, in order to keep everything from blowing up and spending all their money on attorney's fees, the brother,
Yeah.
who never around, got some money. And what a shame.
I'm curious. We're kind of running down here on time here, but I do have one more
Okay.
question that I'd really love your perspective on. Why do people wait to decide to do anything? Why do they push back? What's in the human condition that goes, oh no, all's good here? Like your mom's got it. What is
My
in
mom, I'm not
that?
old enough. That is probably the best question that any of us could ask, and we don't know, do we? We don't
Yeah.
know because none of us And it's interesting, we plan for so many things, but none of us plan to get old. None of us plan for dying. None of us plan for this. And yet it would be so helpful to our families if we would do it. And there's no reason really not to. It doesn't mean we're going to die just because we plan. And
Yeah.
I think in a lot of cases, it's not knowing. Maybe there are sibling issues. Maybe there are children. I don't know what to do. And some people will say, oh, I'm just going to leave it and let my kids figure it out, which is really sad. And then some of them will say, well, if I do it this way, then, Susie's going to be mad and Johnny's going to be mad. So I'll just let them figure it out. And I think some people think that we're trying to take their things away from them and they want to hold on to them for the very last minute. I wish I knew that answer. I wish I knew. But our job, Scott, yours job and my job, and I know you do it so well, is just to help them think it through and to try to come up with some answers that will give them peace.
Yeah. I think that's really my message is, look, there's fear of dying. There's fear of the end. I mean, there's fear all through here. You're right. I think people are indecisive. I do tell people this: if you don't make a decision, that's a decision. So don't think you're not making decisions by not making decisions. You're making decisions. My mom made decisions by not making decisions, and it's left my brothers and I wounded. And so I want to alert families to, this is where the wounding can happen. I'm telling you, I'm living it. And so
The state has one for you and you may not like it,
yeah,
right?
I've always been willing to share my story, and I so appreciate you sharing yours today, because it's from our stories that we learn, right? We have this professional experience, and I've done all this. It took a whole new dimension when it became my journey, my story with mom. And they told me I would have a week or so, and that was on a Friday afternoon. I'd have a week or so. And I got a call at 10 to 5 Saturday morning. She was gone.
When my dad passed away, they told me he was going to die by Friday. So my granddaughter had a birthday on Thursday.
Mm.
So I said to my son, I'll come in and see him, then go to Disneyland with your daughter, because God will not take dad on her birthday. Because then every time it's her birthday, we'll think of dad being gone.
Yeah.
And that would be sad. But you know what? He did go that day, and God didn't ask me, and God didn't give me permission to make that statement.
I think you're one of the most remarkable people I've met in the last several years, and I'm so glad we're friends. You are an inspiration. When I looked in your eyes and heard your voice the very first time, I'm like, that is a wise person to be close to. And so thank you for sharing yourself with us, with me here, and being a friend. I look forward to just lining our ships up next to each other and doing what we can to help these families navigate these tough spots. I never want this dust storm in people's lives. If we can help people before the crisis, we can help soften the blow. That's our mission.
You need help. Everybody needs somebody to help them. My show is Always Ageless. You can see it on YouTube. It is also a podcast, but it's on a radio station here in Southern California. But you can go to YouTube, and Scott, I'll give you the link so you can put it in your social media. And we would love to have people ask any questions that you have. And Scott's going to be a somewhat regular guest. We're going to do a series with Scott.
I got plans for us this year. I'm always creating stuff
Yes,
in my head.
we're
You're
going to.
smiling. You know that. I get ideas.
And my final word is, I will be careful to not let the haboob hit me.
Yeah. Keep the haboob out of your face. That's good. That's good. You guys, I just want to thank you for joining us again. This has been just a joy to talk to you, Valerie. Before I get out of here, I just want to give you a couple things. Options for Senior Living has helped families across the greater Phoenix area since 2003. I started that business. We're family owned and operated. We cover the entire valley, helping families navigate the right and find the right long-term care solution and bring you the resources you need to navigate safely through the journey. It is critical to get help. Do not try to navigate all this on your own. The worst place to go is the internet for stuff. So please call us if there's something we can do for you. We've also set up a private Facebook group that is there for adult children, for caregivers. If you have a spouse, the caregiver can come to us at the Aging Parent Tribe. It's on Facebook, Aging Parent Tribe Phoenix. We have 700 some members. A buddy of mine started this project several years ago up in Denver. She's over 5,000 members in her tribe. There's a tribe in Orange County and Inland Empire. There's one in San Diego. There's one now down in Tucson. And so this Aging Parent Tribe is there for you to come in, share your heart, share your stories, tell us what you need, and get support and encouragement from other caregivers who are experiencing some of the same things. So it's a safe place. Businesses are not pounding you with try to get your business or anything like that, this is a place where you can come and be and get some help for the journeys. We encourage you to join us on the Aging Parent Tribe. As I get out of here, I'll just say, hey, look, man, we'll be back again with another incredible guest to keep bringing awareness to this really, really epidemic issues that are hitting our cities across the country. And we have to help our families age well and understand the processes and help them do this without the crisis and the stress. And don't let Haboob hit you in the face. Thanks for joining me. I'm Scott Fischer with Options for Senior Living. Take care. See you later.